We didn't spend hours researching the perfect destination. And we didn't go snorkeling for the first time. But we did help fuel the plane that took them far away to get closer than ever. At Enbridge, we believe when the energy you invest in life meets the energy we fuel it with, beautiful things happen. Enbridge, life takes energy.
Corina Moore is the first woman president of a Canadian railway and is passionate about transportation in rural Ontario and the critical role of Ontario Northland. She is just as passionate about being a hockey mom and cannot wait to get back to the rink to cheer for her 3 children. Introducing Corina Moore.
Thank you very much for the invitation to present at Phenom again this year. We're always so proud to be providing an update, and we've had a really amazing year that I'd love to share with you now. So as most of you know, we're a transportation agency and we provide rail freight services, passenger rail services, motor coach, and even a remanufacturing and repair center, as well as a boutique hotel in Cochrane. And as far as I know, we're the only transportation company in North America that has all of these services under one umbrella. So something to be proud of and something that we've been educating MTO on so that we can continue to do more and be more impactful across the North. And that's why these presentations and interactions with all of you are so important, because it gives me an opportunity to provide an update, and then hopefully we can reach out after this and really talk to each of the communities separately to understand what your needs are for transportation. This is what our map looked like just 6 years ago. And here we are in 2021, and so proud to show this map because not only does it show that we support now over 150 different communities in Northern Ontario and connecting those people all the way to Toronto and to Ottawa and Thunder Bay and Sault Ste. Marie and Timmins, all the major centers, as well as Winnipeg. And certainly it's worth a comment to say that in amongst the craziness of the last year and COVID and how the pandemic hurt all of us, we were shown a great amount of confidence and support from MTO, and within the first month of being under their purview, we were able to expand our bus services all the way to Winnipeg, something that we've been advocating for quite some time. And even more so important right now when we see the decline in air services and we also see the decline in other transportation modes. We are really, really essential to the needs of all these communities. And the other things you're going to see on this map is obviously our commitment to stopping at hospitals and post-secondary institutions. And what a way for us to share and be impactful with regards to our mandate and being more impactful to the province and all the other mandates that they have with health and the Northern Travel Grant and how they attract people in the communities to the Northern education institutions. That creates prosperity in these communities. So we're going to continue to look for opportunities to expand that, but we're proud now that we stop at CHEO in Ottawa and we stop at the hospital and the university in Winnipeg. So great things happening on the bus side and certainly on the rail freight side. For those of you who have communities in northeastern Ontario, our focus has been transloads. And so not only do we support the businesses on the rail line, we also want to attract more businesses that may make their business off the rail line through a transload. And we've been very successful. You see 6 of them on our map today. We have transloads for the mining industry. We have transloads for lumber, agriculture, propane. And so what does that do to our economy? It means that more businesses are attracted to Northern Ontario, more trucks are off the road, and we can do more for the economy with these services. So I would be remiss without really calling out the compassion, kindness, and agility that we reacted to the pandemic over a year ago, and some of the measures that we put in place just to ensure that our passengers and our customers and our fellow employees were safe, reduced seating capacity, mandatory face coverings, screening, so many things to ensure that we kept everyone safe. So moving on to a quick update on each of our lines of business. Rail freight is certainly the largest part of our business and has been for the past 120 years. Last year, we saw almost 40,000 carloads on our rail freight division, which equates to almost 100,000 trucks off the road, a number of them dangerous goods. So we feel really confident in our ability to make a difference in Northern Ontario with regards to road safety, making sure that the road maintenance budget dollars go farther, and just overall working together to ensure that we are all ambassadors of climate change. On our rail freight side, we are a critical component of the supply chain, and so we didn't miss a beat. In fact, our revenue is steady. All the organizations that we supported kept pumping out their goods because they are critical to moving the economy forward throughout this pandemic. And I'm proud of the relationship that we've forged with CN and other railways, and we're going to continue to do that so that we can make sure that we can move goods very efficiently and effectively across Canada and throughout the US. Now on our remanufacturing and repair, I think a lot of you are familiar with this, the large shop that we have in North Bay. And in that shop, I can tell you that last year, we did more business than we ever have in the history of this division. So in all aspects of our business, on the locomotive side, we have a strong partnership with CN for locomotive work. In the car shop, as you know, we formed a strategic alliance with Metrolinx and continue to work on ramping up and completing those cars and working with them to ensure that we attract more business to North Bay. Our Polar Bear Express, well, all I want to say to everyone is once we move forward and we're post-COVID, I would just invite all of you to take the Polar Bear Express. We're going to work together with the communities in the James Bay Coast to help them increase tourism. Our Cochrane Station Inn, again, I welcome you when we can all move across the province and across the country. Why not take a look at your own province? And this railway station hotel is just, it's wonderful. It's unique. And I hope that all of you will stay with us the next time you're in Cochrane. So motor coach services, and this is the division that touches more communities than any other division at Ontario Northland, and we have continued to expand this service like no other. And I can tell you our mandate right now is to look for areas of growth and expansion and integration with private carriers to make sure that we make the most of what our service can do for the community. And that might look like integrating, making sure that your municipal services integrate with our motor coach services across the province. It may look like integrated ticketing in the future. There's a huge opportunity to collaborate and integrate our services for a more seamless connection for passengers. And you're seeing that. I mean, we now stop at the 407. That is a stop that will take you to Pearson Airport on GO Transit. And we're going to continue to do more integration with GO Transit, which just makes so much sense. We are two transportation agencies under the Ministry of Transportation, and our goal is to make sure that there's integrated and seamless transportation across the province. So how can we do that better with all of you? And one of the things I think that we really can do better in this year and moving forward is working together to create awareness for our bus services. So our Bus Parcel Express, and I say this every time we get together, that is probably the best kept secret in Northern Ontario from Ontario Northland. There's so many businesses and municipalities that don't know about our Bus Parcel Express that should be using it, because the better we do, the more services we can provide, the farther the dollars go, and it just becomes a really productive and efficient ecosystem for us. So let's work together to figure out how we can do some joint marketing to raise awareness of the bus service, of the Bus Parcel Express, and also just start to change how people view bus services. I can tell you, when I am going on the bus and I have my laptop and I'm doing my work on Wi-Fi, because all of our buses have Wi-Fi, it is like a home office, a mobile home office, and it's comfortable and it has outlets for my laptop and my cell phone. My kids take it and they watch Netflix and have their devices plugged in. It is not what people think of when they think of bus travel, and I think that we all owe it to each other to raise that awareness and share the comforts of bus service these days to ensure that we can work together to increase ridership. So I think one of the things on everybody's mind right now from Ontario Northland is northern transportation planning, and certainly one of the big exciting components of reporting to Ministry of Transportation is that now we're truly a part of that planning initiative and providing our skilled and experience to provide these inputs to government for decision making. And so what I can say is, obviously, when you saw the announcement and the confidence from MTO to allow us to expand to Winnipeg last April and to further that expansion to go along the Highway 11 and Highway 17 corridor, we have a willing partner that understands the impact and the vital nature of the transportation services we provide in Northern Ontario. And so we're going to continue to work with them and provide input to them and provide our perspective and advocate for what you believe are the best transportation services for your communities and for Northern Ontario. And I think you know, and for those of you who know me, I'm passionate about transportation services. I think that it's really the foundation of what happens in these rural areas. It's so vital right now, especially with the reduction in air service and certainly what we're seeing across the province related to COVID. So we're going to provide lots of information to MTO about what we can do, both on our rail freight side as well as our passenger rail. And obviously, you've seen the recent announcement in the budget of $5 million for the updated business case for the reinstatement of Northern Passenger Rail in Northeastern Ontario. And man, this has been a personal goal of mine for a long time. I believe that it is integral to how we provide transportation services in the North. It creates this integrated service between rail and bus and allows us to do more with what our services provide. So we're going to be working with Metrolinx and MTO to update the initial business case and provide basically an implementation plan of what the service would look like, what the infrastructure needs are specifically, what the passenger cars would look like. And we all already have a good understanding of what we think the service needs to look like in terms of schedule. And we'll be reaching out to communities that are impacted by this service to collaborate and get their input on what that looks like and what we believe to be the right service. The other focus for us, and we've already started this and will continue, is to really push the federal government to come to the table and provide appropriate funding for transportation in the North, especially with the exit of Greyhound and other carriers. It's especially important that we work with them for increased funding so that our dollars can go further, both on the motor coach side as well as the Polar Bear Express and even on the new passenger rail service. I believe there should be a collaboration between the federal government and the Ontario government, and we're going to progress and push for what we believe is the right funding allocation for those services and the vital nature that they provide to all of your communities. So just a couple of last slides, and this is really the one where I just want to reach out to all of you. And unfortunately, we're not in the room together, and hopefully next year we'll be able to be together. But I really I want to be able to collaborate with all of you and understand what your transportation needs are. And please invite us to the table. Help us promote our services, especially bus and bus parcel express, as well as the rail freight side through transloads that we can implement in your community or that are already implemented and have expansion opportunities within the community. We really want to work together in co-market tourism opportunities. I think certainly we've heard a lot of the Ontario staycation post-COVID, and I think that our transportation services play a vital role in ensuring the success of that program. And I think people are going to be staying close to home, and what better way to see our province with our bus service as well as rail passenger services. So please, let's advocate together for the right transportation services in Northern Ontario. And when you're thinking of your official plans within your municipality and you're thinking of those updates that I think lots of municipalities are working on this year, I would encourage you to reach out to us. We've sent most municipalities a letter with some contact information, and we just want to make sure that we're incorporated into your official plans so that when we're both making decisions about transportation, we can make sure that there's enough support within the community to support what we need to enable a stop or extra facilities within the community. So when you're working on those things, please reach out to us and we'd be glad to work with you. And that's the end of my presentation for today. And again, I want to thank you. I wish I was in the room with all of you and we could have a conversation after this presentation. So please, my email address, most of you know it, is on the screen. I would welcome you to reach out to myself or members of the senior team, and we will be glad to give a presentation to the council or economic development people within the municipality to just really ensure that we're educated on what we can do together to make sure that the transportation services we provide meet the needs of your community. And that's what we're passionate about, and that's going to be the focus both this year and going forward. So thank you very much for including me in your day.
We didn't say, "Hey boy, want to go for a ride?" And we didn't roll down the windows just for him. But we did help fuel the car that made this guy the happiest co-pilot you could ever have. When the energy you invest in life meets the energy we fuel it with, beautiful things happen.